Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the ASUS ZenFone 8. This is a special phone on the account of it's the first time I've seen ASUS in a while making a phone without a rotating camera. And also this is one of the few small Android flagships. And when I say small, I do mean it. It's one of the more petite devices out there. Its diagonal being below 6 inches. It's got a dual camera and somehow it feels like it's aiming to be an iPhone 12 mini rival. Okay, so it's an unboxing. I've already set up the phone. I'm going to fire it up right now and it's time to discuss it. So the ZenFone 8 series has been unveiled and it includes a few models. This is the smallest one of them. It comes in a pretty compact body, and the first feeling I get when I'm handling it is that I'm wielding an HTC. All this roundness and the materials it uses feels like a bit of a throwback to the HTC incredible times, believe it or not. Now this is the first contact with the phone. It's very easy to handle with a single hand. The buttons are pretty comfy. Lovely blue accent here for the power button. Let's put it on the side for now and see what we're getting here inside the box. No prices just yet. I will update the text unboxing as soon as we learn the price for the device. I'm expecting it to be somewhere in the range of $800 if you're lucky, or $1,000 if we're not. This is the key used to access the 2 nano SIM card slots from the bottom. And here we have a manual in search of incredible user guide, and also a pretty useful case, which let's see if we can get it to open. Okay, so we're definitely polluting the environment here by being brutal about its opening. So this is it. It has a pretty rugged texture at the back side. It's an interwoven pattern like a honeycomb of sorts. Should protect the device fairly easily. Now, also inside the box we have some extras. The usual charger and cable combo. So this charger has an USB-C connector and it promises us to deliver a charge of up to 30 watts. It's a smaller battery, so it should be enough to charge it reasonably fast. And this is the cable, which goes from USB-C to USB-C. Okay, that's about everything we're getting inside this box. Nothing out of the ordinary, the typical case, charger and cable. Now, one last mention about the design. So, at the bottom here you have the slot. You can open it up by inserting the pin here, and this slot includes only 2 nano SIM card slots. I also noticed a small gasket on it, so there may be some small waterproofing. Here you can see the USB-C port, and here you can see one of the speakers. The other one is this one at the top, this slit here, so we have a stereo speaker setup. And once again I feel the need to highlight that the phone is incredibly easy to wield, rotate in the hand, and it's quite grippy. This curved back side sits very well in your hand. Now we do have a metal frame as well as a glass panel at the front with Gorilla Glass 6 protection, and you can see here we have quite the big punch hole in the top left area. An interesting mention is the fact that the notification LED is here next to the speaker. It will also light up when you're charging the phone. Not very sure if the back is covered with glass or plastic. My guess is probably plastic, but I will look into it. Now that we're done with the design, it's time to discuss the screen because it feels pretty special on account of being quite tiny. Now, the screen we're using here is of the OLED variety. This one is a 5.92 inch panel with a Full HD Plus resolution and a 120 Hz refresh rate, which can definitely be felt when you're scrolling this smoothly. Let's actually go to the settings and check it out. Okay, so we go to the display here. Got the refresh rate set to auto. You can set it to 120 Hz, 90 Hz or 60 Hz. It's 120 Hz now, so let's see how the scrolling functions at the moment. Pretty fluid. Now the core of the experience will definitely be triggered once you look at the other specs. This is a Snapdragon 888 phone, which means it's very powerful, but aside from the powerful CPU, which we already know, we also have an incredible amount of RAM, 16 GB on a small phone, now that is special, as well as 256 GB of storage. And once again, no trace of micro SD. Now the battery inside the phone is a 4000 mAh unit which charges at 30 watts. I also mentioned we have stereo speakers, but guess what? We also have an audio jack at the top side. For the sake of security, we have an in-display fingerprint scanner, but there's an interesting fact here. I actually am using the very fast front camera to unlock my face. I know it's not secure, but there's a bit of a gimmick here. When I'm using it, I can unlock my face while wearing a mask in these COVID times. And this is the first time I'm seeing something like it. Now on the connectivity front, you're probably expecting this from a flagship. I'm talking about your 5G, your Wi-Fi 6, your Bluetooth 5.0, USB-C, NFC, and so forth. And I think it's time to discuss about the cameras. So here we have a 12 megapixel shooter with face unlock and 4K video capture, and on the back side a dual back camera with LED flash and a microphone next to it. Now this dual camera has a pretty simple setup: main camera and ultra wide, that's it. No telephoto, no bokeh, no macro. There's a main 64 megapixel shooter with optical image stabilization. It takes 16 megapixel shots, has f1.8 aperture. Then there is a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with f2.2 aperture. Now the camera interface is pretty familiar if you've seen an ASUS phone lately. It goes like this, not dissimilar to what we've seen recently on the ROG Phone 5. There's a portrait mode, there's a panorama mode, there's a more section where you can find motion tracking, pro video, and a pro mode plus the night mode. This is the photo area. You should be able to pull this thingy here to register a timer, I think. There's also the video section where you can go up to 8K when you're filming. We have a time lapse and a slow-mo. There are other interesting facts here. So if you press, there should be an area here. If you press on this button, you can trigger a special wind noise reduction and a microphone focus. So there's a lot of emphasis on the audio capture when you're doing video capture. There's also a hyper steady mode, which lets you stabilize the image better, and that's about it. Of course, we're running on a pretty clean version of Android 11 with a minimal level of bloatware, actually no bloatware at all. Basically only Instagram and Netflix are, so to say, intruders compared to the typical application list. This is pretty much it that we have so far. One quick mention goes to the customization capabilities in the audio department. So if you go here, we got Audio Wizard with DRAC technology, scenarios, 10 equalizer channels, extra treble and extra bass, so we're definitely covered in that regard. Okay, so I can already do some spoilers for you. I've already done some benchmarks and you can find some of them here at a quick glance. More will be revealed in the full review. And at the same time, I also tested out the camera. I have some shots here. I can mention that they're pretty well lit. They're pretty bright and crisp. They have pretty nifty colors. And at the same time, the colors are pretty vivid. I also tried out the stabilization, caught some flowers on camera, and we'll be back with more details as soon as the review is done. So for now, my impressions are the following. It's a very compact phone and hugely powerful with a lot of RAM and a powerful CPU. Also very easy to handle and with a promising screen. I'm shocked by the camera unlock with the mask on, even though it's not pretty secure. And this actually is a rarity on the market. I cannot exactly tell you any other rival phone which is small and so powerful in the Android segment. This is it from us from gsn.com. We'll be back with a full review pretty soon. Bye bye.